Hello and welcome to this battle report from House of Geeks. We're going to play an 1850 point Warhammer 40,000 game, and we are playing the Scouring, and the mission is Vanguard Strike. We're going to be playing on this ruined city. Recently I've had time to get some scattered terrain painted, so I've got some boxes and barrels and other things painted. I'll also be debuting the Space Marines that I've finally got finished. So we'll be playing on this board. We've got objectives. We've got one here, then we've got one in the middle, and then we've got another one over this side, and one here behind these barrels. Yeah, I don't know why, but we're definitely fighting for barrels on this game, I think. One in the crater, then coming over here and killing the dice as well as I walk by. We've got one in this top building as well. The objectives are randomly numbered, so we've got one 4-point objective, one 1-point objective, 2 3s and 2 2s, and me and my opponent Simon have decided not to show the numbers, so we'll actually show the numbers of how much the objectives are worth at the end of the game. Just add a bit more randomness to the game as we go on. So we'll come to the armies and let you know what we've decided to choose. Right, this is my 1850 point Lunar Wolves army. Obviously it's a Crusade army for those of you that know the fluff from the background, but I've managed to convert it into 40k rules. So we shall start at the front here. What we've got is 8 Stern Guard in a drop pod. The Stern Guard are armed with 3 combi melters, and then in the front we've got my Force Commander, which is Garvio Loken. He's armed with a, let's see if I can remember now, he's got the Burning Blade, he's got Storm Shield, and I believe that is it. So he's got a nice 3+ invulnerable save, and he's got a nice pokey close combat weapon. Next to him we've got a level 2 Librarian who's just as he comes. There's no upgrades for him apart from I made him level 2. And then over here we've got 10 Tactical Marines. They're armed with a plasma gun and a grav cannon, and they'll be in a Rhino, and the Rhino is just armed with as it comes. And then over here we have 5 Devastator Marines armed with las cannons, and then here, which looks like some artillery, it's actually going to be Devastator Centurions. So we're going to have them as grav cannon Centurions, and how I've managed to model these is the models, the guys on the back actually do come off. So for wound markers, when one takes a wound we'll take a guy off. When it takes 2 wounds obviously we'll remove a model. At the back we have another Tactical Marine squad, 10 Marines, and although it looks like they're armed with plasma guns, for this game they are melter guns. I've paid for the points, I just didn't get a chance to change the models over from Heresy model into obviously 40k, and they'll be in a drop pod. That's just as it comes. And then in the middle we've got 5 Assault Terminators, all armed with Thunder Hammer and Storm Shield. I was going to say Thunder Shield then, but it's not Thunder Shield, is it? And then at the top here we've got a Storm Raven gunship. It is the Forge World variant, the model is, but we are using it just as the standard Void Raven for this game. So that is my 1850 point army. Obviously we'll zoom out there. It took me a while to get them all done, but finally they're all finished, and this is their debut, and we shall come back with Simon's Eldar army. Right, this is Simon's 1850 point Eldar army, and as I'm sure you'll all agree, they look absolutely stunning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Simon talk about what they actually are and stuff. So Simon, I'll leave it to you. So we'll start over here, mate.
Okay, yeah. So it's 1850 points of Craftworld Eldar from Craftworld Alitok. Our HQ is Illic Nightspear, and he will be accompanied by a small squad of Pathfinders. Then behind those we've got 3 squads of Aspect Warriors. That's 2 squads of Warp Spiders, just basic loadout with an X-Arc, no upgrades there. And behind them we've got a squad of 5 fire dragons with an X-Arc with a fire pike. They'll be mounted in the Falcon, which is behind them, which is armed with a pulse laser and a bright lance. Then moving around the back, we have the big dude, the Wraith Knight again.
Oh dear.
Just the standard loadout there with 2 heavy D cannons. We've then got a, what's it called?
Wave Serpent?
Wave Serpent, yeah. We've then got a Wave Serpent. That's a transport for one of my Guardian squads. We've got 2 Vipers there. They're both armed with a scatter laser and a shuriken cannon. And we have a squadron of 2 Warwalkers there as well, also armed with 2 scatter lasers and, in their case, 2 star cannons. We've then got a Vol's Wrath support battery with 3 vibro cannons. I find having 3 of them works pretty well together because of the way they work. We'll see that in the game, hopefully. And then the main body of the force, we've got 3 squads of 10 Eldar Guardian Defender squads, each with a star cannon. Last but not least, they will be joined by a single Warlock conclave with just the 1 Warlock there. He has a singing spear and also a Farseer with a singing spear. No other upgrades there.
And then formation wise, what formations have we got here, Simon?
Okay, so the whole thing fits into a Craft World war host, which means that everything in the army automatically runs 6 inches, which coupled with the battle focus ability that all Eldar have is fairly potent. We've then got all of the Guardians, the Warlock, the Farseer, and the Vol's Wrath support battery, the Warwalkers, and the Viper are part of the Guardian battle host. The bonuses they get are that they haven't had to pay the points for these star cannons, and also the Vol's Wrath support battery, the Vipers, and the Warwalkers, they get to have preferred enemy if they're fighting or firing at any unit that's within 12 inches of a squad of Guardians. So that's quite useful too. We've then got the Aspect host here, which is the 3 squads of Aspect Warriors. The bonus they get is at the start of the game I can choose whether I want to give them +1 weapon skill or +1 ballistic skill. I'm going to be going with ballistic skill today.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
So, and the other thing, they also get to re-roll their morale checks, as if that wasn't enough.
As if that wasn't enough.
Yeah. Other than that, everything else fits into a formation but doesn't have any specific formation rules. So the Wraith Knight, the Falcon, the squad of Pathfinders and Illic Knight Spear all have quite enough special rules of themselves without needing any more.
Right, that is it for Simon's 1850 points of Eldar. So we're looking forward to putting these on the board. At the minute I have deployment first and first turn, so I shall get the Marines deployed and we shall come back once deployment's finished. Right, that is it for deployment. As you can see, I've got my Rhino here with my tactical squad. Devastator, Lascannon Marines are on this side, funnily enough with nothing to see. And over here I've got my Devastator Centurions with the Librarian. And opposing them, there is a lot of Eldar in the backfield. We've got the Warwalkers, Warp Spiders are on the field, which I was quite surprised about because it's very rarely get to see that these days. And we've got obviously the Wave Serpents, the Wraith Knight, and all the other good stuff in the backfield. So at the minute I have the first turn, but I'm sure Simon would like to seize the initiative.
Absolutely, here we go.
Oh, a 2. So at the minute the Space Marines get to go first. Just a quick reminder, I've got the 2 drop pods in reserve, the Stern Guard are in 1 drop pod, Tactical Marines are in another drop pod, the what's it called? Not Fire Raptor. Storm Raven. Storm Raven with the Terminators, and Simon has got nothing in reserve, but he's got
Fire dragons are in a falcon,
Yep.
and a squad of guardians in the wave.
In the wave servant, that's it. So we shall come back after turn 1. Right, Space Marines turn 1, that is it for movement. Just done a little bit of a shuffle around with the grav cannons. Just try and move them around a bit. They're a bit out of range. I think only one is in range at the minute of warp spiders, but I'm sure they'll either move out the way or they'll get a good cover save anyway at the minute. Tanks move around, and over here the drop pod managed to drop in. It did scatter towards the board edge. I was a little bit worried, but luckily I only rolled a 9. So that's it for moving. Like I say, it's not particularly very eventful. We'll go on to psychic phase. It's 1d6 for psychic. I don't really get a psychic phase with Dark Eldar. I usually play with Dark Eldar. So I get 2 dice, +2 for my Psychic Mastery level 2 librarian. So we'll come back. We'll probably come back into the shooting phase. That is it for Space Marines turn 1 psychic and shooting. I attempted to cast invisibility on the Devastator Centurions, but I failed. Everything else, a lad's cannon, sorry, shot at the Vipers. Simon elected not to jink. I managed to penetrate, but only managed to, was it stun? Was it shaken? Shaken. And then the drop pod, the contents of the drop pod opened fire at the Guardian squad that was there. The flamers just literally evaporated majority of the squad, and then the rest of the Marines mopped up. The Force Commander uses orbital bombardment, which managed to immobilise the Wave Serpent. Is it the Falcon?
No, that's the Falcon.
That's the Falcon. Managed to immobilise a Falcon, and we caused a wound on the Wraith Knight, but Simon managed to feel no pain. So that is it for Space Marines turn 1. I'll be very surprised if there's any Marines left there, but at the end of the day we had to drop them in to get rid of, or to get first blood, and that's not slightly your Warlord's up there, isn't he?
Yeah, that's him up there.
Yeah.
So he is still in the fight.
Yes, so there we go. So that is it for Space Marines turn 1, and we shall come back after Eldar movement turn 1. Right, that's it for Eldar turn moving. We've got some Eldar trickery moving on. We've got the Warp Spiders flicker jumping. Is it flicker jump? No, warp jump, sorry.
Warp jumping, yeah.
Yeah, warp jumping up onto the building, and everything here basically shuffling around. And then around here, the Stern Guard look a little bit surrounded there. We'll see how that turns out. We was going to move on to psychic phase.
I've forgotten to disembark some people.
Oh, we're going to disembark.
Yeah.
Before we move on to the non-remaining psychic phase, as I managed to flame the heck out of the Farseer and the Warlock. So I've obviously got the Fire Dragons there disembarking from their wrecked vehicle. Immobilised vehicle. So we shall come back in the Eldar shooting phase. Okay, that is it for Eldar turn 1, and it was an extremely devastating turn for the Space Marines.
Retribution was swift.
Yes, very, very swift retribution there. As you can see, there is no Garvio Loken and there's no Stern Guard. It literally took the Guardians, the Fire Dragons, the Falcon,
the Warp Spiders,
and Night Spear.
And Night Spear, yeah.
Night Spear to finish the squad and Loken off. And it was a Falcon, I think, that got the killing blow on Loken. Was
yes,
it instant
it
death?
was in the end, yeah.
Strength 8, instant death for toughness 4, Loken. And then over here, everything else basically let ripped into the Grav Centurions. So that would be the Star Cannons, the Strength Ds, and that was it pretty much. And then there was just obviously a little bit of Eldar shenanigans. Moving around with the Warp Spiders, and other than that, that is it. So it is now Space Marines turn 2. Bit dire straits here, so we need some reserve rolls. So the drop pod with the Tactical Marines is a 5.
Yep.
So that'll be fine. That'll be coming on, and the Storm Raven is a 2. So the Storm Raven isn't quite on yet. So we'll bring the drop pod down. Might play a little bit reserved now, maybe with the Tactical Marines, which we'll find out. For Marine movement turn 2. Drop pod landed exactly where we wanted it to, with split the 10-man squad into combat squads. So we've got the combi melter and the melter on one side, obviously going for the vehicles, and then we've got the standard tactical Marines going for the Guardians. Is it Guardians? Yeah, Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah, going for the Guardians. Hopefully we can make a little bit of a dent in them. And then over here, the Rhino just slightly chundled forward. Didn't immobilise itself, luckily, with its 1 hull point remaining. Hopefully we can chuck some firepower up the field to deal with some of that trouble up there. And other than that, that is it. So we would go on to Psychic phase, but obviously we are now a Psycho-free board after I killed Simon's, and it's only fair that he killed mine. So yeah, so we'll go straight into the shooting phase, and we shall come back after that. Right, that's it for Marine shooting turn 2. It was quite successful. Not quite as successful as the Eldar turn 1, but it was for as many models as I've got on the board. It was okay. The Devastating Marines fired at the Warwalkers, and we managed to kill 1, luckily. And then the Tactical Marines fired at the one that was left, killed it, blew it up, and then 3 died in the backlash explosion. Rolling 2 2s and a 1. Luckily for Simon. The other Marines fired at the Guardians. Managed to whittle their number down to 4, is it, or 4 or 5? Yeah. And then other than that, that was it. Oh, we killed a Venom.
A Viper.
Viper. I always get them wrong. So we killed a Viper here from the plasma gun inside the Rhino. And other than that, that is it. So we'll go on to Eldar turn 2. Okay, that is it for Eldar movement turn 2. More Eldar are moving forward through the ruined Imperial Cathedral, I suppose it'd be. So we've got the Warp Spiders warp jumping through there to engage either the Rhino or the Devastator Marines. Over here, the Guardians re-embarked on their Wave Serpent to move forward, and then over here, the Wraith Knights decided to jump forward, and quite possibly absolutely vaporised two lone Devastating Marines, if there's any left after the Warp Spiders have dealt with them. So that is it for Eldar movement turn 2. We will come back in Eldar shooting turn 2. Okay, that's it for Eldar shooting turn 2. As you can see, the Rhino has met its match against the Wave Serpent, I believe, that shot it and wrecked it. So the Marines disembarked and we passed our pinning test, so they're okay. The drop pod over there also, I'm afraid, died horrendously. I think, what was it killed that? The fire?
It was the Falcon.
The Falcon killed that. And over here, the poor devastated Marines were set upon by the Warp Spiders and the Wraith Knight, rolling 2 6s on the Wraith Knight. But I don't think it had mattered because my armour saves against the Warp Spiders were, was it 4 1s and a 2?
Failed 5.
Yeah, failed 5.
Yeah.
And that is it really. Over here we lost 2 Marines from that front squad.
They took a hell of a lot of firepower.
They took a hell of a lot of firepower. Leadership test for them, they are okay on 4. So they might be able to do something, hopefully. We'll find out, see what they get to do. So that is it for Eldar turn 2. We're going to Marine turn 3. Well, hopefully the Storm Raven comes in, otherwise it's going to be a very, very short turn. And we get a 5. Bit of focus there, might be able to see it better. So the Storm Raven will be coming in with the Terminators on board. So we should come back at the end of movement turn 3 for the Marines. That's it for Space Marines movement turn 3. The tactical Marines have fallen back from their ruined Rhino. Hopefully try and sort out these pesky Warp Spiders. There'd obviously be some more choice words, but it is a family show at the end of the day, I suppose. The Storm Ravens come on. Rather than go for a vehicle that is designed to fight, I'm going to try and hopefully shoot some of these. Whichever way is going to flick a jump, we'll see what happens, I suppose. And then over here, the tactical Marines have moved away from their drop pod. So we've got the 3 Marines going towards the Guardians and the 2 Marines hopefully heading towards the Fire Dragons. We'll see how that goes. So we shall come back at the end of shooting turn 3. Right, that's it for shooting turn 3 for the Marines. These Marines opened fire with their pistols, not cut. We caused 1 wound, but the Fire Dragons managed to save it. The Storm Raven came screaming onto the field, managed to kill 1 Warp Spider with a missile, or either way it was 2 to wound, so we managed to vaporise 1, and the rest died to rapid fire with the Marines. Me and Simon were both in discussion about whether they would still get their flicker jump if they had gone to ground. We said no, but if you know or think otherwise, please leave a comment or whatever just to let us know so we can get it right next time. So that is it for the shooting phase. So we're going to the assault phase. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the 3 Marines charging the Guardians. I'll roll it here, just why not, I suppose. So they're going to be -2 for going through cover now, so they want something better than a double 1. So a 6 and a 3, so that's fine, so they'll make it in. They'll definitely get some standing shoots back.
Absolutely.
And we'll quickly roll for the other 2 Marines against the Fire Dragons as well. Looks like, by the looks of it, they're going to want at least 4, 5, 6 for moving through cover. So we get a 7. We get an 8. We get an 8. I can't count. So that is it for the assaults. We'll come back when we start rolling assaults, and Simon will start shooting what's left of my tactical Marines. Right, that is it for Space Marines assault phase, turn 3. 2 Marines died in a hail of blade storm fire, I suppose, with the Marines charging in, and 1 died for blade storm, and the other one died to the star cannon. and then the Marine charged in, and he managed to kill one, luckily, but they managed to pass their leadership test. Over here, the Sergeant challenged the Exarch to a pillow fight, and they basically had real good fun in their pillow fight, and it was stalemate, no wounds caused either side. So that is it, so we shall go on to Eldar turn 3. Right, that's it for Eldar movement turn 3. You on turn 3? Yeah, turn 3. So what we've got here is the warp spiders warp jump down. So I'm not particularly rolling that great, but obviously with the 6 plus 2d6, it's still not a bad movement. The wave, not wave serpent, the viper moved across. Wave serpents moved up, and over there it's pretty much stopped in its tracks because of obviously the Marines holding up the 2 squads there. But over here, the Wraith Knight has moved across to claim that objective, and more than likely to shoot in the back of this. And other than that, that is it. So we shall come back after shooting turn 3 for the Eldar. Right, that's it for Eldar turn 3, shooting and assault turn 3. Sorry, the Wraith Knight and the vibro cannons.
Yeah, the vibro cannons and the Falcon.
And the Falcon all fired at the flyer.
And the Elite Night Spear.
And the Elite Night Spear, yeah, very true. And managed to get 1 hit, but I managed to have a cover save because I was firing through the ruins. And other than that, we have 5 dead Marines here. The warp spiders again. I think these are definitely going to be the bane of my life. I think this for the rest of this game now. Managed to pretty much kill 5 of them. I think was it 5 straight away? Yeah, 5. And then other than that, that is it. Apart from the assault phase here, which I managed to kill 1 of the Guardians, which managed to get them to flee, and I caught them and killed them with my 1 remaining Marine, and which then is hopefully going to move into the other fight to hopefully swap out the pillows for knives eventually, because that combat was once again a huge pillow fight. So we'll come back when at the end of Marines movement to 4. Right, that's it for Space Marines movement turn 4. It's getting a bit dire now, I suppose, with having to try and hold at least 1 objective would be nice. We have got the Storm Raven that decided to go into hover mode, so it could so this cargo could disembark. The Marines have moved around just to try and cover all the angles for a flicker jump that I assume will definitely be happening. Now the Justarian Terminators are literally right in their grill. And other than that, that is it really. We've obviously got the combat over there that will continue. So we shall come back after the shooting phase. Okay, that's it for Space Marines turn 4. So what happened is the Space Marines here decided to fire on the Warp Spiders, and the Warp Spiders flicker jumped an almighty 11 inches, putting them pretty much out of sight of my Marines. I managed to kill 2 of them with the ones that I could see. So basically that kind of put these at a bit of a disadvantage. My Justarian Terminators, they had to... I've lost trail of thought now. Yeah, so they couldn't charge anything, so they just decided to run a little bit into cover there for the oncoming firepower that will definitely come at them. The Storm Raven fired its las cannons and last Hellstrike missiles at the Wave Serpent, which didn't jink, but it used its Serpent Shield to turn it into a glancing hit. And the multi-mounted from this used its Power of the Machine Spirit to fire at the Viper, and that did jink, but unfortunately the penetration went through. But unfortunately for me, I rolled really, really low and only caused I think it was a crew stun, so it can't move and it can only fire snapshots next turn. Over here, the combat phase managed to make the Guardians fleet. Obviously that was in a previous turn. The challenge that was going on with the Veteran Sergeant and the Exarch, the Veteran Sergeant managed to cause a wound on the Exarch and they failed their leadership test and fled. Obviously being initiative 6 with the Exarch, they managed to escape. So we've got one Marine in pursuit who's going to get vaporised, but there's not really much I can do there with just 3 Marines. And other than that, that is it. So we shall come back after Eldar turn 4. Okay, that is it for Eldar movement turn 4. We've got the warp jumping warp spiders moving over here, and over to this middle table we've got the Wave Serpent that's moving forward, probably going to be taking some shots at the now hovering Storm Raven. The Wraith Knight stop where it is, that'll be definitely shooting at the Storm Raven. I always forget what it's called. And then the Fire Dragons, they managed to rally. They managed to move up with their rally move, and then everything else pretty much is going to be targeting the Marine and the squad of 2 Marines just hiding here, and possibly the drop pod. And other than that, that is it. So we shall come back after shooting turn 4 for the Eldar. Okay, that's it for Eldar shooting turn 4, and what happened was the Warp Spiders fired once again into the Marines, killing 2. Managed to pass 3 armour saves though, luckily. And then we lost a Terminator to the Wraith Knight, who fired his D shots, and Simon rolled a 4, I think, for the D table. And then we lost the lone Marine, unfortunately, to snap firing Fire Dragons. He literally got vaporised. It's a shame because he was due for a promotion. The drop pod got wasted by the remind me.
Sorry.
What's that called? What's that one called? Falcon. And over here, the Storm Raven took 2 hull points from the Wave Serpent and the Vibro.
No.
No. They shot at it, but it managed to jink them.
Yeah.
And so it literally took.
All the Wave Serpent.
Got 2 glancing hits from the Wave Serpent. So that's it. So we're going to Space Marines turn 5, possibly the last turn for the Space Marines, which will come back at the end of Space Marine movement turn 5. Right, that's it for Marines turn 5. Just decided to do all of the whole turn in one recording because it was going to be very quick. Movement phase, the Storm Raven just decided to move over there. I'm snap firing anyway because I jinked. Snap fired at the Falcon and missed. The Marines fired at the Fire Dragons and didn't cause any wounds. And then over here, the Marines fired at the Warp Spiders that were there. Flicker jumped up there, managed to kill 1 that I could see, and the Terminators failed their charge. Luckily, they didn't take any wounds in the comeback fire. So that is it for Marine turn 5. We're going to Eldar turn 5 and see how we go from there. Right, that is it for Eldar turn 5. Not much left for the Marines at the minute. We have 2 Terminators remaining of that squad, obviously with a massive hail of, I suppose, monofilament blades, is it? Is that what they're called, pretty much?
Wires.
Basically shredding the Terminators to bits. There's 2 left. The Wraith Knight blew one to smithereens. Normal Marines got hammered by the 2 remaining Warp Spiders, and the 2 Lone Marines over there, they went to ground, but behind the fence just wasn't enough, as the Fire Dragons, I suppose, were they plasma, kind of plasma?
Kind of melter.
Yeah, just disintegrated the mesh fence, and obviously melted the Marines to bits. So that is the end of turn 5, so it's variable game length, so we shall let Simon roll. See if the game continues. A 5.
It does.
Okay, now do the Marines want to continue? At the minute I have no objectives. Yeah, let's continue. Let's try and at least get 1 objective. So we'll come back at the end of Marine turn 6. So it's going to be a very, very quick turn. Okay, that is it for turn 6 for both armies. It was just easier to put both turns into 1 clip. So what happened was the Fire Dragons moved across, the Wraith Knight just sat there, couldn't really shoot anything. The Storm Raven moved across, he fired, he was snap shooting, so he missed both times. The Guardians moved up and shot at the Terminators and managed to pass all my armour saves. So really that was it. It wasn't particularly very eventful 6th turn. So, Simon, if you'd like to roll again, let's see if the game continues.
It does.
4. Right, we're going to turn 7. Right, we have come to the end of the game, end of turn 7 now for both forces. I kind of went a bit headstrong and I decided just to charge the Terminators into the Guardians. I difficult terrain down and moved them across, and they charged. They got in combat. The Guardians overwatched, but they didn't cause any wounds. I killed 4 in combat. Was it 4 or 3? Yeah, 4 or 3, and they fled. But unfortunately, I can't swim in advance because of the Terminators, and I rolled really, really crap for the consolidation. So unfortunately, not able to claim that objective. The Flyer switched to hover mode. He scooted over here, went flat out here. He was sitting on the objective very, very nicely until the Wraith Knight shot him in the back and got a 6 and a 5, I think, on the D table. I don't think I've seen anybody roll so many 6s for the D, strength D. I think my opponent Aidan will have to seriously have some conversations with Simon to learn how to roll 6s for his Wraith Knight. So other than that, that is it really. So the main point of the game is obviously the objectives, and we decided to keep them all secret. I mean, Simon don't even know what's what at the minute. So Simon, do you want to undo that one?
Yeah, so this is the one you've just forced the Guardians off with the Terminators. That one was worth 3, so no one's having that.
So no one's got the 3-point objective. And then Simon, do you want to do this one up here?
It's the one I've just...
There's
been all sorts of units on this one.
Yeah, this has gone literally from...
Warp Spiders, Terminators, Devastators. That one was worth 2.
2-point objective.
Okay.
And then...
So...
over here, see the one in the centre?
Okay, so the one in the centre is worth... only 1.
Only 1.
Okay.
Not many people fought for that one, fought and died for that one. So do that one at the back near the barrels.
This one at the back near the barrels with the Wave Serpent controlling is worth 2.
2. And then this one here.
Yeah, the one we had the pillow fight over.
Yeah, the massive pillow fight over. There's feathers everywhere and ruined pillowcases.
3.
3.
So it was worth it, which means...
yeah, which means this one, typically...
that the Wraith Knight's been sat on.
The Wraith Knight.
Unmolested.
No, unmolested. Is sitting pretty on 4 points.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points. You've got Line Breaker for 11.
Yeah.
Slay the Warlord for 12.
Yeah. Didn't do it with my HQ.
Didn't do it with your HQ, and you got first strike.
Yeah.
So for 13.
13.
I got first strike, so 1, and that's it. That's it. So 13 to 1. So it is a absolute massacre for the Space Marines, only having 2 Terminators left. They obviously get teleported back to orbit to tell the War Master what's been going on this planet, to send the medics down to retrieve Garvior Loken, because we all know Garvior Loken doesn't die. But the Eldar, very, very, very well played for the Eldar, very strong force. So Simon, Simon, unit of the game for you.
I would say, even though they're now dead, the Warp Spiders.
Yeah,
because they gave you so much trouble.
I'm definitely going to agree with that. Warp Spiders are literally the bane of my life at the moment. Unit of the game for me, the Stern Guard did really well. Obviously they died first turn, but they came down and literally obliterated the Warlock, the Farseer and the Guardian squad.
Took all my psychics out.
Yeah, took all the psychics out turn 1. The Terminators did really well. They didn't really kill a massive amount, but literally they're just able to withstand so much, so much firepower. And other than that, that is it really. Did you enjoy the game, Simon?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, very good. Me and Simon also been discussing that every time Simon comes, we get sausage and venison sausage, and egg sandwiches. So I think Simon can come every week as long as we get fed like that.
And if that's on the internet, it must be true.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if it's on the internet, it's definitely true. You heard it here first. Anyone interested in gaming against the House of Geek, by all means, let me know, and we shall get the sausage and egg sandwiches in. So other than that, guys, that is it. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help a lot. So thanks for watching, guys, and tune in next time. Toodaloo.